There's no doubt that vistas look amazing, but there's so much more to landscape photography than the wide scene. In today's video, I'm going to share 5 creative landscape photography ideas I turn to when I'm looking for some photography inspiration. So I'm visiting these amazing lily ponds today, excuse the wildlife, to see if I can capture 5 creative photographs that I mentioned earlier. So challenge myself to see if I can get those 5 different images from this one location. And yeah, if we're lucky, we may even see otters, because I've never seen them here, but I'm told there are otters further down this trail. So fingers crossed we'll get a glimpse of them. That would be absolutely amazing. Let's go and see if we can find our first photo. So the first creative aspect I'm looking at this morning is natural framing. So I'm looking for natural elements like arches, tree branches, rock formations that can serve as frames for our landscape subjects. This can really help add depth to an image. Tree branches can often help to fill a boring sky too, so that might be what we'll be looking for first thing. So I stopped here momentarily to take a quick shot because I think it's a perfect example of natural framing. We've got these overhanging branches which help to fill the rather boring blue sky that we've got now. But the scene itself is beautiful. You know, we've got these reed beds in the foreground, some nice dark shadows here as well in the foreground, which allow the eye to be drawn through to the lighter parts of the scene in the distance. So yeah, I think it works quite well. And the settings wise, I'm f8, shutter speed is 100th of a second, ISO 125. And I'm just shooting it handheld, focused down here on those reed beds. Yeah, I think the colours look quite nice too. Yeah, it's quite a nice little shot, that one. Anyway, let's go and see if we can find something else. Next up, we've got the top-down perspective. Now, we're so used to looking straight ahead, aren't we? And that's why I think top-down photography looks so interesting. It's just not that natural to us. Now, there's multiple ways of taking top-down shots. Now, we can gain elevation and look straight down, or we could use a drone, or even focus on what's at our feet from a standing position. There's no doubt that this can make really unique images. So I found quite a cool spot on this bridge. I'm about 15 feet above the water, which is ideal for a top-down shot. I can look straight down and there's some lily pads directly beneath me just here, which is absolutely perfect. So I've got the 7300 on, I'm about 140mm, and I'm just isolating certain subjects within this little patch of pads, which is great. There's some flowers. And because the sky is quite dark now, the clouds come over, the water's a very dark colour, which is pretty cool because it makes those flowers and pads pop out, which is absolutely brilliant. So I'm just working this scene now, shooting handheld, using this wall actually just to support my elbows while I shoot. And yeah, just trying to pick out various different compositions. About 100th of a second. There's no need to use a tripod, and it'd be virtually impossible because bending over this wall here is, yeah, not ideal, but it's perfect for top-down photography. I haven't seen any otters yet, and I'm told they're between this bridge and the next one down, so fingers crossed. Hopefully we'll see some activity this morning. That'd be amazing. I'm going to work this scene a little bit more. I'll put the image up on the screen. We'll see what we come up with. So I've just finished shooting those lily pads down there, and my next creative idea is reflections. You know, this could cover a multitude of different subjects, couldn't it? You know, you could shoot a reflection in a puddle, it could be in the ocean, it could be in a lake or a river. Here, obviously, we've got these wonderful lily ponds. And situated right in the middle of this one is a patch of reeds. They're poking through the surface. One of them's bent over, which adds quite a graphical feel to the image. There's a lot of pondweed in here too, and that adds texture to the surface of the water. Got the reflections of the clouds in there as well. So it gives it a bit of an abstract feel, I think. I'm going to shoot this image at 300mm, I think. Quite tight. It's going to definitely be a square crop. The minimalism here really suits that. Yeah, I quite like that. Very, very abstract. It's the pondweed that makes it. Without the pondweed, it would be completely flat. That pondweed adds texture, which makes it more abstract, I feel. I really like this one. otters have finally shown up. I can't believe it. I've been down here 5 or 6 times now, specifically to see them, and never seen them. This is absolutely amazing. There's 3 or 4 of them, I think, swimming around like there's no care in the world, maybe just having some breakfast, doing some fishing. Absolutely amazing. Animals like this in their own natural environment, just absolutely brilliant. I just don't want to take my eyes off them. What a sight to see, and that's just made my morning. So before we move on to the next composition, I'd just like to thank everyone that supported the pre-sale of my zine. I've been absolutely blown away by the response, so thank you so much for that. I've now taken delivery of the first print run, so I'll be shipping those very, very soon. So yeah, it's now on general sale on the website, so if you do fancy picking up a copy of 30 Days Volume 1, I'll leave the link for that below. Anyway, let's get on to the next shot. I'm genuinely thrilled to have seen those otters this morning. So happy right now. It's just amazing, isn't it? Wildlife, the birds, the fish, just amazing. So, still got a couple more photographs that I need to get this morning to complete this 5 creative landscape photography topics. And I think I've got an idea just a bit further down here. So my next creative landscape photography subject or topic is ICM, or intentional camera movement. And this is a great way for expressing our creativity. It's a great way of producing interesting photos, even when the conditions are not working in our favour, such as now. And it's really simple to do. You just choose a slowish shutter speed and move the camera during the exposure to record a certain effect. And the beauty of this is that if we do this, you know, it's entirely up to us what we do. There's no boundaries. You just got to experiment and see what works for you. And I absolutely love it. So like I mentioned, ICM has no boundaries really. You can do whatever you want. It's absolutely brilliant and I absolutely love it. I've got the 3-stop filter on my camera right now, and that's given me an 1/8 of a second f/22. And basically what I'm doing, I'm just zoomed in on these reeds here. Got some really nice reflections in the water of the clouds and the blue sky, and there's some leaves and bits of debris, if you like, in the surface of the water, and that's catching the light. And basically what I'm doing, I'm just vibrating the camera in a circular motion as I take the exposure, picking out different details, making different patterns and swirls as I take the exposure. And like I mentioned, it's just about experimenting, but you could spend hours just picking out different subjects, playing around, seeing what different effects you can get. You can also stack images together as well for different effects. There's, no boundaries. The possibilities are absolutely endless. And that's why I love it so much. You know, when you've got a day like this now where it's blue sky, harsh conditions, turning to something like this can really help you, you know, stay focused, stay creative and enjoy your photography. Next is shallow depth of field, and quite often with landscape photography we're looking to get everything sharp in our image from the front to the back, but I think it's fair to say that this is not always the best approach. You know, sometimes you can get really interesting images by using a shallow depth of field. So for this shot here, I'm getting down low and I'm shooting through this bracken, these overhanging branches here, using a shallow depth of field at 5.6, focusing on the bridge, and that's just throwing that foreground out of focus, which is adding some depth and interest to the scene. Without that, it's quite bland and boring. So yeah, it can add a bit of extra depth, which helps guide the viewer through the image. And I feel it's got a bit more of a documentary feel to it, as opposed to maybe a regular landscape photo where you've got everything sharp from front to back. exposure photography can also be a great way of flexing your creative muscles. And if you've ever wondered how to take long exposure photos handheld without any filters, then I highly recommend you checking out this video that is up the top there. I do hope you enjoyed this week's video. If you did, please be sure to give it the thumbs up, as that really helps this channel out. And if you would like to see more content like this, then feel free to subscribe. Until next week, guys, take care, and I'll see you all very soon.